Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you recall on my last IS300 video, we were retrofitting the headlights to some new projector HIDs with some new shrouds and DRLs. On that video, we got everything fitted into the old headlight and everything lined up and working correctly. So on this video, we're gonna go ahead and open up my OEM headlights that I bought, my brand new OEM Lexus headlights. We'll go ahead and transplant the reflector and the projectors over to that headlight, get everything lined up, figure out all the wiring in the car so we get the DRLs working, we get the turn signals and get everything properly working and looking good, and then go ahead and bake that all together and get this project done nicely and see what the outcome is. So stay tuned. Time to put these OEMs under the knife. I really feel bad taking these apart, but gotta do what you gotta do to have brand new headlights. Fresh out the oven, you can see for the OEM ones, I set up a much cleaner workspace because I don't want to scratch the lens. All right, if you guys are nice and patient and take your time, you should be able to open it up with zero damage to your housing. You shouldn't even mar up any of these edges right here if you're using this tool right here. This tool is like the best thing for separating the lens with minimizing damage. You see down here, barely anything. I started my prying right here, just a little spot right here where you can see that, but I'm just gonna heat that up, reshape the channel. You should reshape it when it's still warm, that way it can go back. On the lens side, the shroud actually came off and stayed with the lens, which is what I really wanted because I didn't want to touch the lens and risk getting fingerprints or anything on it. We're gonna leave these alone until I transplant everything that I've been working on the car over to here. Even though all these bolts and everything are nice and secure already, I just want to make sure, so I'm gonna put some JB Quick on here just to make sure I seal those edges and everything and the bolts don't come back out. I'm gonna go fill these holes in and any other holes I cut that didn't line up correctly, just for good measure. All right, got all the JB weld set on here. Give it a couple minutes to dry, and then we'll go ahead and put it into the new housings and get everything lined up. We got all these wires that are coming out of the headlight. These are for the DRL, the demon eyes, and the high beam. So I needed something to make it all look professional and clean. So I ended up buying these harnesses on Amazon, and what they are, they're just weatherproof generic harnesses. It's a 3-prong, a 4-prong, and a 2-prong. We're gonna end up soldering those to the harnesses on the car. And I'm gonna solder the other end to what I need to on the headlight. Just opened up this AliExpress Demon Eye controller. It looks like they tried to pot it a little bit. It's a little half-ass pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of my pot mix and fill this up so I can actually protect this from the weather when it gets wet. right, now that we got everything reassembled on the headlights, I put it on the car for one last test fit to make sure the beam was all working, everything was working properly before I seal these lenses back on. Before I reinstall these on the car, I'm gonna give it a nice coat of Armor Shield 9 ceramic coat. If you guys haven't seen any of my videos on using ceramic coat, go ahead and check out those videos or check out the links down in the description for $20 off some Armor Shield 9. All right, so I ended up mounting everything on the bottom here, just using some double-sided tape. Hopefully it holds up. If it doesn't, I'll just stick it back on again with some more 3M tape. But that'll be good for now, kind of gets these controllers out of the way and allows them to be serviceable. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other side and get these babies back on once I do the soldering. So next thing I gotta do is I gotta hook up the BiXenon. So what BiXenon means is this projector that I put in is a high beam and a low beam. Whenever you wanna use your high beam, the shield drops. There's a solenoid that needs to be activated by the high beam to drop that shield. So to make it easy and plug and play, I'm gonna create a harness where I'm gonna split the signal coming in from the car to the bulb here and to the solenoid to make this work. You can buy these harnesses, they're only like $5 or $10 on Amazon. I'll link down in the description if you need that splitter, but I'm gonna make my own since I got the parts here. Oh yeah, look at that OCD wiring, guys. Everything's soldered, heat shrinked, wrapped. Looking like OEM. This thing looks good as hell. Pulled the turn signal for my shroud. I'm gonna pull it from this harness right here. Both of these are the turn signals. They go to the same place. I'm gonna de-pin this one also and pull out those wires and heat shrink and solder that wire on there. All right, boys, we got that soldering done. Got it all taped up with the 3M electrical tape, some wire loom. Got everything looking OEM. So I'm gonna go ahead and button this side up and continue the other side off camera and finish this install. So I ran that wire across the radiator support. I'm in the process of tucking all the wires, getting it over here and finishing up over there. So what I'm gonna use is, I'm gonna use these little OEM straps here. These two black ones are Honda and the brown one is a Toyota one. I'm gonna end up putting it right here on these holes right here, wire managed across the radiator support. I initially made the mistake of thinking that the DRL relay right there was gonna supply power, but that was incorrect. That thing only supplies power when the lights are on, and I had tapped that earlier if you saw in my video. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that off, put it over here to this one. To pull the DRL wire, we have to actually pull the wire right here off of the auto level motor. It's the black and red wire right there in the middle. It's got nothing on the opposite side, so it's only the one middle wire there, but that's the ignition wire that's on when the car is on or the engine is on, and it's always powered when the car is on, so that's good enough for our DRL whether the lights are on or off. For my setup, I'm actually gonna just run it off of one side because I had already ran that wire across here, wire managed everything. I could have just had it on both sides, just independent, because they're basically on the same circuit on the auto level motor, so I wouldn't have to run that. The only thing I would have had to run was the demon eyes across the front here. To pull out the pins, all you have to do is pop this little white thing out of the end here. It's pretty easy with a little tiny screwdriver. It shouldn't use much force to come out. And then once you do that, you could just pop that little pin right there, that little clip, and you can slide the pin right out. And there it is, you pop it right out, and then now you could strip it back, solder, put some heat shrink in here, and close it back up. And this is a bit extra. Most of you guys will probably just use quick connects, but I like to do it solder and heat shrink. All right, there's that nice solder joint with the loom and everything in there. So go ahead and heat shrink and finish this up. All right, so now it's completely dark. We're 25 feet from the door, and I'm gonna measure the light level readings like I did with my 2IS. So we'll go ahead and compare the light output of these HIDs versus the LEDs from the VLAND and my retrofit on my 2IS. As you can see already, the numbers blow the VLANs and those islands LEDs out of the water. Look at that. Right on the hot spot, yeah, we're getting probably double what we got on those other ones. And then once you get down into the hot zone right here, right after the cutoff, you're getting almost 1,000 lux right there. And this is just one side. Right now we're looking at the other side of the beam. 1,000 lux right there. This is the high beam right now with the halogen. That's the halogen hotspot right there. And this is the HID bi hotspot right there. All right, we're gonna go for a little spin around the neighborhood, see how the output on these are. As you can see, my neighborhood is pretty pitch dark. These are 1,000% upgrade from those hazed HID reflector OEM ones I had.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey guys, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this very long video on doing this lighting retrofit. I know I tried to keep it short and sweet, and I did cut out a lot of parts like me opening the headlights and me showing all the details of that. I'll probably have that on a separate video if you want to get into that and know exactly how to open them up and what it takes to open them up. But for this video, I hope you guys found it useful. I'll go over the budget right now on what I spent on it. This originally started as a budget build. I only bought the projectors and the shrouds thinking I was going to retrofit those old headlights and just buff them. But then I learned about the crazing and the lenses and everything, and I decided to go all out and just get new housings. So to start off with the projectors, which are NHK G5-BRTs. Those things were $90. I bought those maybe like a year and a half ago when I first got the car. The bulbs for those were D2S and they were $23. I bought them together as a package. I bought the Panamera shrouds. Those were $54. Those shrouds make the retrofit look awesome, and they have the DRL and they have the turn signal. The demon eyes, I purchased those demon eyes from AliExpress. Those were $17. I got the screws, the miscellaneous screws. I just ordered those from AliExpress at the same time for like $5. That template, that was a big waste of money. That was $36. You could probably just eyeball it, drill the holes, and then trial and error and fit it better than the way those things came. The miscellaneous wire harnesses I bought, that was like $17. So the biggest cost was those OEM headlights. Those were $380. I bought those on a deal when Bell Lexus was having a sale on eBay. I'll link them down in the description. They're usually about $225 for the headlights, but I got them for $190. But overall, With all that added together, it was like $600 and something just in parts I used. For the new ballasts I use, I don't really count those because those I had them already, and my old ones were still perfectly fine. I just have another spare set now. I just wanted to use the new one since I was getting everything new. Anyways, if you guys found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel to stay on top of all my different DIY content, whether it's on the IS300, the IS250, the Sienna, or the house, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Just turn on bell notifications to get notified every time I upload. And remember guys, for all these different projects, if I can do it, you guys can do it. I want to thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll talk to you guys next time.